Today is Saturday, November 8th, 2025. It's 12:22 in the morning. I'm here at our new house that's not finished yet, and wanted to make this video just venting a little bit. This is going to be just a vent video for myself, although I do hope that what I'm saying resonates with people so they can feel some kind of comfort despite the uncertainty and the insanity that's currently happening in the political realm right now, particularly the Republican side. Also, if anyone's watching this and you feel inspired, or you feel you resonate, or you can benefit from learning about things that are problematic in our world that need to be fixed, and particularly in America, please subscribe. I normally don't ask people to subscribe or to like my videos because I really, well, besides having a problem for asking for favors or for things, especially when they're so like minuscule like that, where you think it's not a big deal. I just always believe that, that people will subscribe if they want to, and if not, they won't. But I'm trying to be more, open and approachable in general. So, and I know that that's a big thing for people getting subscribers and getting engagement, is they ask for the subscriptions, they ask for the likes, they ask for the follows, whatever. So I'm asking if you can follow or subscribe, whatever. If you feel so inclined, please do so. Don't be shy. Don't feel awkward. Because yeah, I could really use the engagement right now. I need some kind of income, and honestly, I had been having a real hard trouble finding some work recently, but I finally found something. I found well, I actually had subbed before, but I hadn't heard anything, even though I applied again. But I got some pull from my mother-in-law that knows people, so that's basically how I got the job. By who you know, which is the cardinal rule for Laredo. It's you get jobs based on who you know. So that's pretty much how I got it, because everything else I was being denied. I hadn't worked since June. I actually got my car repossessed today, which fucking sucks. Sucks a lot, but it's fine. I mean, it's not the first time I've had a car repossessed. It's not the first time I've dealt with financial issues. It's not the first time I've been broke as fuck. I've been broke as fuck all my fucking life. I'm a product of a very, very impoverished family that never really tried to get out of that poverty. That just tried to survive and just survived every day, and that's basically what I do, because that's what I learned, and I got too fucked up in the process between graduating high school and becoming an adult to be able to stay focused on a career that could make me a lucrative income one day. So my path was all over the place. I'm 37 years old, going on 38. Why am I 38 going on 39? I don't even know how old I am anymore. I was born April 20, 1987, so you could do the math. But I'm not, anywhere successful in my life from what I hope to be, what I imagine myself to be as a child, because I was a very talented and intelligently gifted child. I was the top student in my elementary and all my grades, basically all my grade levels up until about 8th grade. And then 9th grade, I stopped caring about my academics so much because I started becoming emotionally unstable. Basically, I wasn't really taught how to regulate my emotions properly. I was kind of left to just deal with them on my own, and my way to deal with them was crying and screaming it out until I felt better. So that's basically how I've handled my emotions, all my life. And when you get to a certain age, puberty, teenage years, high school years, you start to, learn about love and, relationships and whatnot. And if you're not in a stable, emotionally stable place by the time you reach that level in your life, you tend to not handle breakups very well, and not handle rejection very well, not handle being, pushed to the side very well. And, I didn't handle it well. I tried to hurt myself and was very unhealthy towards myself, mentally, physically. I was not planning on crying in this video. So basically what I'm getting at is I was emotionally stunted for a big part of my life and didn't really realize it. Because it's just the way I was. And I didn't really grow up, right away. The times that I did try to grow up and become a voice of reason in the world and change the world for the better, I was not treated very well. Being a conspiracy theorist back in 2005, early 2000s, 2010 era was not a very popular, fun, cool thing to do like it is now, where people, get all the views and all the clicks and all the thumbs up. Back then you were called a tinfoil hat wearer. You were called a crazy conspiracy theorist. You were treated like you were fucking stupid as fuck and retarded because you were trying to explain to people how our country is not really run by us. It's run by a bunch of pedophilic psychopaths who are in control and servitude to another tiny country that doesn't even, give a shit about our country for shit. Yeah, you're treated very badly then, and being somebody that was emotionally stunted and that didn't know how to deal with my emotions in a positive, healthy way when I was upset or felt rejected or hurt, didn't really have a good effect on me. Kind of made me more angry, more resentful. It made me turn away from people, like not want to be around people because I couldn't stand, you know, pretending and faking like I'm happy in life, like working, being a slave, you know, having my tax dollars taken to all these fucking horrible things, and just being okay with the chunk of change that was left over, and just, you know, going to birthday parties, going to, you know, get-togethers and meetups, and acting like everything's fine. Like I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it, and I refused to do it. You know, and people didn't understand, I guess, or they thought I was ignoring them, or, you know, just basically saw me as the problem, and just, you know, didn't really seem too concerned about, you know, what was going on in my life anymore, or whatever. So I kind of became secluded into my own world, and, you know, my vlogs and making videos on here, just venting and venting and venting, hoping somebody would listen, hoping somebody would understand, and just hear me out. And I never really got the views. I never really got the, you know, I did get a couple comments every now and then of people, you know, saying I was doing good, or, you know, keep it up or whatever, but it was rare, and it was very little. So when you start being treated like you're wasting your time, like you're being a, you know, a pathetic human being because you can't, you know, afford your bills, you can't keep a job, you can't hold your temper because you're just so fucking angry, you're just so fucking pissed off. And you don't know how to deal with it in a way that makes you feel better. You just deal with it in a way that makes you calm down a bit, or feel worse physically in some other manner, that you calm down in that sense because you're in physical pain. That's what cutting was a big factor in, as far as, like, you know, turning away from that anger, that emotional pain. You cut, you feel something that's taking your mind off that pain, and it makes you calm down because you're feeling something else. Yeah, that's how I dealt with my pain a lot too when I was a teenager. And now that I'm seeing so many people out there talking about shit that I've talked about for fucking years, but, you know, saying it in a way that's keeping people captivated enough to, you know, to stay engaged because they, you know, have the details there laid out and have everything all together like a show. I guess maybe that was my problem. I would just talk and vent. I never really showed any proof or sources or anything, because in my mind too, a lot of that also was a lot of resentment towards people, because when I was trying, like, to really share evidence and wake people up in that sense, I would constantly share, you know, commenting with people, debating, because I would debate people And I would debate them calmly, you know. I would let them call me names and stuff, and be like, "Why are you calling me this? Why are you calling me that?" Like, you know, I started when the Republicans were all, you know, like when they were all pro. When Obama was putting people, all the babies in cages and stuff, and deporting people and all that, and all the Republicans were speaking against it, and I was, you know, speaking for the immigrants at the time, but mostly because just how they had them locked up, like having the babies locked up in cages and stuff. That's what I really was against. I didn't like, and I'd, you know, speak out about it and talk about how, you know, Obama was this and that, and the Republicans would get mad at me for you know, siding with the immigrants or whatever, and then the Democrats would get mad at me because I was calling Obama, you know, a warmonger, and because he was a warmonger too, like he was the whole time. Like that's when I started really realizing Obama was the reason why I started really realizing that both parties are just like they're two wings from the same bird. They fucking work together, and they just keep people fighting and intertwined on these two parties so that we don't ever like have any other options for people that are not bought and paid for by Israel, because they're all bought and paid for by Israel basically. And I noticed, you know, that Obama was just lying, just fucking lying, saying one thing and then doing another, legislative wise and military wise, like, and everything wise. He was just doing everything opposite, and I'm like, this fucker is just a fucking tool. Like, he's not changing anything, he's making things worse. And I started researching then, you know, into how much control, you know, corporations had over our government, and how they lobbied, and how, you know, Israel was a big part of that, and they're all like for Israel for some reason. And, you know, I didn't know a lot or everything that I know now then, but I knew all of that stuff, and trying to tell people that back then, man, it was a fucking, it was a nightmare, like nightmare, because that's when like hardly anybody was listening, like left or right. Everybody saw a conspiracy theorists were like on the in their own level of, like, we were like the groypers, how they are now, like the crazy out ones, like that people like, well, not even, because the groypers are even more respected now than what they used to be, and they were still respected then. Even like conspiracy theorists were just treated like shit, like just gullible idiots, or I don't even know. It was just a horrible space to be in, going down rabbit holes all day and realizing how fucked up everything is, and, you know, trying to act like it's all normal and fine when everybody's like calling you crazy, and you know you're not crazy because you did all the research, you know, looked up all the .gov websites, all the .org websites, all the legitimate, you know, mainstream media website sources that were talking about things and laying out things, and seeing how it was all real, you know, like all the conspiracies, the chemtrails, you know, how they geoengineer the weather, how they had Area 51, how they have, you know, advanced technologies that they keep hidden, how they basically had something to do with 9/11, that although that story is still not completely out there yet, like in the whole consciousness of America, as you know, done by Israel, or an actual like inside job. Some people still don't believe it. I don't know how they don't believe it. Like, you have to be an idiot, like, at this point to not believe it, or to not believe the fact that it was a false flag, where it was an inside job. They, you know, Israel attacked us and blamed it on the Muslims so we could go to war with Iraq. So we could go to war in the Middle East. And it worked. Because we were a lot more easily brainwashed back then. And we were a lot more nationally prideful at the time, I should say. Aggressively, military-wise. Like, it's coming back a bit like how it was back then, but it's nothing close to what it was back then still. And I really thought that Trump was gonna be that one that was like, you know, here on God's mission and really like coming to save America, to save Americans and save the world. He's not. He's here to save the Jews, or his interests at least, so the Jews don't fuck him over. And it's upsetting because I really did believe that he was, you know, he would make the right choices in the end, but he's not. He hasn't been. And now he's trying to, like, you know, I haven't made any videos about the food stamps, the SNAP benefits, because I honestly, I'm not proud of the fact that I have to get food stamps. You know, it's not. I'm not one of those moms that like wants to like show all the fucking steaks that I got and, you know, brag about how, you know, I didn't pay anything. It's not something that's comforting to think about when I think about my food stamps, but it's something that's helped a lot. It's helped, you know, to have some good meals when I know I couldn't afford them otherwise every now and then. It's nice to know that I don't have to, you know, eat ramen noodles and, you know, tuna sandwiches and peanut butter and, you know, all the cheap meals that we could survive on every day. You know, I'll do it if I have to, and I might have to, and it's gonna suck, but it's not like, you know, life ending or anything. It's just, it's inconvenient and it's unfair when I am somebody that, you know, had been trying to look for work for so long and been trying to work, and I do work, you know, and I don't make a lot of money, and everything's just so fucking expensive right now. Like, everything is so fucking ridiculously expensive here. And I can't, like, keep up with it. I can't keep up with it all. It's unfair because it doesn't have to be that way. You know, it's that way because they made it that way. And the more money they keep sending, you know, they could send billions of dollars away to other countries, to foreign. They let that money go, you know, without stopping it. But our food stamps here, you know, our benefits here for Americans, they want to use it as a fucking gambling tool to push their agendas on either side. You know, like, fuck them. Fuck all of them. Fuck Trump. Fuck Pelosi. Fuck Obama. Fuck Hillary. Fuck fucking JD Vance. Fuck you all. Fuck Vivek Ramaswamy too for not speaking out about all the shit that's weird and just acting like a fucking political shill. Still there just trying to keep the Republican Party together. Fuck the Republican Party, bitch. Fuck it. Fuck the Republican Party. If it's gonna go ahead and just pick Israel as its number one ally, its number one country, its number one people, if that's who the Republicans want to stand for, I don't want to be a fucking Republican. I wasn't even a Republican ever. I never identified as one. I never identified as any fucking political party. I was always placed into one by other people based off of whatever certain position that I was taking on a certain political topic or social topic. I was always placed into. I was called a liberal by my father when I was in high school, talking about how George Bush was a warmonger and we didn't need to go to war. Before I even knew what a fucking liberal was, I didn't even know that word. I had never heard it, which is sad because I was in high school. There's no reason why I should have known about politics in high school already. That's something that needs to change too. Kids need to start learning about politics and realizing that this idea, this notion that our parents, or at least my parents, tried to instill in me when I was growing up, that you couldn't do anything about the government, that the government was gonna do what it wanted to do, and there's nothing we can do about it. That notion is fucking bullshit, and that we can do something about the government if we organize, if we rally together, if we make it happen. But you have to make it happen. You can't just like hope that it happens, because they're not going to hold themselves accountable. We have to do that. We have to go out, put the force, put the numbers in, put the effort in to hold these people accountable. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And people need to teach that to their kids, so their kids don't grow up thinking that there's nothing they can do to change their fucking country, to make it better. There is a lot we can do. Even if you don't like politics, you don't have to like politics. You can like, other things, and help your society, your American culture in that way. You can get into any field of creation that you want: the food industry, the automotive industry, the service industry, clothing industry, whatever you want. You can choose and pick something, a product to make. The more products that people make, the more businesses that we have out there offering things to people, the less expensive things are going to get, because there's going to be more stuff to go around. There's going to be less demand, and there's going to be, people that are going to be lowering their prices and having things be more affordable for everyone. That's how it works. That's why we have such a high price. Well, that, and also I think they also, like, what's the word, like, fix prices, or they like change prices, I think sometimes a lot, where they just up the price just to see like how it does, and then they lower it. Like, they just constantly testing price changes, which I don't like either. And I think there should be a rule for that too. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to like overcharge for things. That's a big problem in capitalism, is that there's no limits as to what people can make, or how they can make it. Like, it's regulated to a degree where people are forced to make healthy, safe products for people, or at least they're supposed to be regulated in that way. But it's not, regulated as far as how many people did it take to make this, how much money did it take, where you're not getting like a huge ridiculous profit, where you're obviously ripping off people, because that's what makes the economy worse. So I think it needs to be regulated better as far as that. Like, there has to be some kind of structure that's laid out to fix that, and that might stop a lot of the issues of poverty and wage inequality that happens from a capitalist system. And that's the biggest argument that that people that support socialism and communism have, is that it becomes unfair for the bottom person, the middleman, once the top ones get too greedy and they don't want to trickle down the profits to their company and their employees and stuff. It starts getting harder, and that's basically what's happening right now too. They haven't raised minimum wage in years. They haven't required corporations to pay more to their employees. Some people are still making $7.25 an hour here. It's like, how the fuck can you live off of that? $7.25 an hour. You work 8-hour shift. Let's round it down to 7 because you're gonna have to pay taxes. So 7 times 8, 56. You made $56 in one 8-hour shift. How the fuck are you gonna live? You can't even get a full cart of food for $56. You can't even get a fucking like 3 days worth of food for a family of 3 for $50. Like it's ridiculous. And I'm talking about decent food, like, a good steak, a chicken, and thrown in there, not just fucking ramen noodles and beans. I'm talking about decent food. And people want to get mad at people for having food stamps when they work. They probably work as much as you. They just get paid shit because that's how the economy is. It's shit right now. And yet, you want to get mad at the person that's got food stamps. Like, yeah, maybe, okay, some people do take advantage and they should be held accountable and they should be, forced to pay back that money if they were taking advantage. But the majority of people are not taking advantage. The majority of people are needing it to survive or just to eat like decent. Not like a fucking country in a humanitarian crisis where people have to eat fucking bread and peanut butter and ramen noodles all fucking month because that's all they can afford. Fuck you, Trump. You fucking piece of shit. You fucking protecting pedophiles and you don't even care about truly holding those responsible who killed Charlie Kirk. Fuck you. And fuck everyone else who's defending him and fucking still protecting him, knowing everything, knowing all the facts now. The truth is out. We were lied to again. We thought it was a dream team of people from both sides of the aisle, and it was nonpartisan, even though it was Republican, because people were rallying together to really make a change, and it was just all a fucking facade. We'd been had again. Trump was right when he said that. He really meant it when he said he could fool any American just by pretending, like acting like he really loves it. He really loves us. He really loves this country. He fucking doesn't. If he did, he wouldn't be being Israel's bitch right now. But he is being Israel's bitch. He's being Netanyahu's bitch. So he's just a bitch. And I hope he gets impeached. I hope that the Epstein files come out and we find out that he was a part of it on a grand scale, and he is arrested and impeached before his term is up. I hope so. I hope that happens because I'm so disgusted by him, by all of them. And I'm over it. I'm over like being put on any side, any label on me, like that gets put on by whoever hears my words and thinks that I'm like on a certain side, or from a certain category of people because of what I'm saying. I don't care. You can call me a liberal retard because I don't like Trump anymore. You can call me a fucking Nazi racist because I say fuck the Jews. You can call me fucking transphobic hater because I don't want to support people dismembering their fucking healthy body parts. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care what anybody thinks about me or calls me. I'm gonna fucking say what I want to say and say what I think, and that's what I think. Fuck you, Trump. Fuck you.